explain how we're going to arrange this workshop. First, in the first section, we will give you some brief information. Then we will teach you how to draw these spirals and give you the main idea how to draw a spiral, an arabesque design of yourself. In the second part, after the break, you will translate and put your own drawing on tiles. I mean, your own piece will be ready, a real piece for yourself that you have drawn the arabesque yourself, and you can transfer it on a piece of tile that you have learned from the previous workshop. You know the basics. However, there are some variations and differences. We will review first very fast what we said last time. Arabesque is a design which is based on arithmetic spiral, the Archimedean spiral. And on this, there may be some flowers. When these flowers were introduced, they were introduced to this art and very expanded and developed during the Islamic era because the people, the Muslims, preferred not to see the faces of animals and human in their decorations. Rather, they preferred using of plants and flowers and such decorations. And the word arabesque is a specific term that experts use for these spiral drawings after the 9th century onward in Islamic parts, and after the Renaissance in Europe, which makes the Western arabesques and the Islamic arabesque. We call it Islami, which means it is frequently used by Muslims, Muslim artists, or in the decoration of the Islamic buildings. Also, after the Ilkhanid period in Iran, some flowers with the theme of the Mongols who were invading this country were added to the arabesques. I will tell you later in the slides that how these flowers were placed on a spiral. And then these, because they call it from Khitan area, which is northern part of China. They call it Islami Khatai. In Iran, most of the drawings are Islami Khatai. We brought a real sample here, a big one that Hamid draws himself, and you can later come touch it because it has the dots on it that you can transfer it on the and look at the designs, and you can sense the real one, how it looks. You go, for example, to a mosque, you can see it made and attached to the walls. It is also called Nebati, which means in Arabic, Nabat means plants, but I think they pronounce it Nabat, but I don't know why. In the textbooks I saw it's written as Nebati, which means that it is related to the plants. So these were the terms that are used to refer to this art. As I mentioned earlier, it is based on the arithmetic spiral, which is a well-defined spiral with in polar equation. The equation is written there. However, there are simple methods for drawing this, which we have here. We will give you these threads, but before they were using wools and wood. Sorry, they were using big woods, or depending on the diameter of this spiral, they were using different round stuff and using it to draw this. Hamid we made it ourselves.
all of them, Rumi or Islamic, everything, follow this rule. Okay? Please try. You can.
Excuse me. Have you tried to draw big spirals? When you do this several times, for example, if you practice, your hands know by nature how to draw this. Then you can make it smaller, bigger, depending. I mean, when you want to really design such things, you don't use these threads. For example, if Hamid wants to draw let's say, spiral like this, he never uses threads and circles. He just do it like this. When you practice, your hands know where to turn. I mean, it becomes very natural for you to draw such spirals. Because one of your friends is asking, what should I do when I want to draw something small? Then you try to do it yourself now. You can do it with your hand, simply, without using any tools, without using any stuff. But it needs more practice. Now you know the basics. But for drawing little, big, different sizes, you don't need to make different diameters of these threads. You will learn it by practice. Okay, if you look at these pictures, these images shows different spirals, 2 stems, for example, here, and also the red one is another one, which is going through the blue one. These type of tiles are called Mu'arraq tiles. Last 2 years, in the previous workshop of IDC, we have a workshop on these Mu'arraq tiles, which was limited to geometric lines, geometric straight lines, not these curves. We didn't have Arabesque. But if you remember, we told you how are these made. Then we limited only to straight line geometry, not these curves. But I will give you a little explanation, because this is not very widely used in the world. It is limited to areas around Iran, which were once one country. For example, in Uzbekistan, we also have this. The methods are different. The methods that they are made are different. But these curves are not, these are like puzzles. They are made like puzzles, and the back side is covered with gypsum. I will give you some. This is very specific. I'm insisting on it. We are not going to do this now, but I'm insisting on it because this is very specific way of doing Mu'arraq tile, we call it. Mu'arraq you have for wood, for example. They carve and they put pieces of wood together. This is with tile. Look at this. These are all these arabesques, Islami lines, 2 different colors, 2 different thicknesses. They go through each other and make this big image. In Moroccan architecture, there is zellige, or zellige they call it, which has more or less the same technique, but with the straight lines, not with curves of arabesque. Look here, we have 2 big spirals, the 2 big arabesques, and inside it there is smaller ones. These are, I brought here as examples. Here we have calligraphy inscription, and inside it, on the behind, there is this curve of the spiral going on with this leaves and everything. The method is like this. First of all, in Iran, they do it like this. There are tiles with different colors. For example, yeah, Lajavard, you call it Lajavard. Yeah, we also call it Lajavard. and this, for example, they first make the pattern, number it, and yeah, they do coding. Other than numbering, they do coding because, for example, when they cut them all, they should be able to put them back again. They copy the pattern, they do coding. For example, they draw a line like this or like this so that they know which part is there. It's not only numbering. And then they use this special hammer, which is made of, the head is like diamond, to cut this out, small pieces. Like this, for example. Look. Last time we did it together. Yeah, remember? Yeah. And like this. And then they put this together. At the back side, they pour gypsum to make them attach together. You were there also last workshop. And then they put it, they make it on this, their plan. There is a plan, they put the pieces, and then after it is complete, it's a very hard to solve puzzle. Because we always make puzzles since we were a child, we started making puzzles. But this is very hard because the pieces are very small, different shapes, and you have the same flower because there is symmetry. You have the same flower somewhere else in your plan, and you have to make it in a way that these codings are helping you to make the whole stuff easier. And then when finished, they put gypsum, and then they rub over these. The numbers and everything is on paper. You can clean it with water, and then the whole panel is ready. They attach it, and then they wash over it to remove the papers. Then you have this final pattern. Something like this, for example. I said that because you can imagine drawing it even on a piece of paper is hard. Then you have to make it, and make it double line. This is what we are going to tell you now. There are different spirals attached together. For example, you draw this, and from one part of it, another spiral movement is out. And the total Islami is made out of these fragments of the arithmetic spiral attached together, mirrored, copied, moved, and so on. You can make this whole pattern. And then you have to make it double lined. So that it looks like a real stem. Because we said it look like plants. There is a stem with flowers and leaves and everything. You have to make it double lined. And sometimes they play with it. It goes over it, this goes behind the other stem, and they play with it to make it look nicer. Now try to make your own spirals double lined. When you're doing this on paper, if you use, for example, a paintbrush, the thickness of the paintbrush will make you this thickness. When you use thicker paintbrushes, it will make a thick line goes. You don't need to, for example, draw two lines and fill the middle. If you use a big one, a big paintbrush, where are the paintbrushes? It will give you the thickness. But now we try to do it with your hands so that you practice again how to make the curves. If you look at the slide, you will see over this simple spiral, the drawer, the designer, decides, for example, by drawing circles, they decide where these flowers, in Eslimi Khatai, as I told you, there are flowers, where the flowers are going to be placed. They make it clear for themselves by drawing these circles over their spiral. Okay? If you look at this sample here, can you distinguish the arithmetic spiral? Yeah, simple. You see? And again, there is another one.
Again.
Different directions, different diameters. It's all based on the simple arithmetic spiral. And the places of the flowers, different types of flowers, are in the designer imagine for himself, okay, where to put these flowers. You can consider your own samples now. And like this, this is for mu'arraq, yes? Because they write the numbers here. We have, for example, 2 different samples here. You can come and see. This was used for mu'arraq tiling, as I told you, the puzzles. This was used for the painted tile, the 7-color tile. If you later on, if you come to see and touch this, you see these dots that you're going to use. Look, they make small holes on it, and they use the ash, something like ash, to transfer the design over the tiles, and then they use manganese oxide as a, yeah, we will do it next session, to transfer the design over the tile.
So this rule only for Khatai, Rumi, okay? Because in the Arabesque we don't have any flower, okay? Just we have a special type of
leaves,
means of some same as flower. Its name is botte jerke. I show you. You see, this one is botte jerke. Very famous to India, in Middle East.
What do you call this?
Yeah.
Do you have the same pattern? What do you call this?
Yeah. You see, this yeah, this is not Rumi, this is Arabesque, Eslimi. Okay, but inside maybe have some Rumi, but the structure is the Arabesque, Eslimi, the base of Eslimi. So now I show you where you can.
With 2 fragments of spirals, you can make this design. Botte jerke. Yes.
This structure for botte jerke. This okay, this one is 2 type of square. To a square, and this is the botte jerke. For example, again. Okay, please.
Try to.
I put it in the outside. Same as this one.
The same circle you have here, you have it here.
The size is up to you, it's not important. the blue one also the same as the red one, okay? But just symmetry or mirror. Do you understand? Again, I write here. Okay.
If you look at your books on page 16, it shows how these different spirals are combined together. If you go to the next page, 18, 17, 18. You see a double line. The first page, 16 is one line only, here is double line. And when you want to combine this together, you have to keep in mind that there should be this harmony. If the diameter of the spirals are very much different, it's not going to be something nice. But if they are comparable, they make this harmony and balance in your drawing. As if you remember when I told you this rule of balance and harmony and symmetry, they make the final stuff nice. If you don't use these rules, if you don't keep them in mind, the final result will not be nice. Okay, so mind the harmony and balance when you want to draw something. This, that we call it chang, if you look at the book, or the claw, when a spiral is going to be finished anywhere, there is something on the top to make it look nice. One of them was those shapes that resemble the mouth of a dragon, as I told you last time, or these specific drawings that they are used, and there are samples in the book, to finish the head of the spiral or the other outcoming stems.
The green color base of the chang, okay? The green color. But if I want to change the form, up to you can play with this one, for example. Okay, this is one form. Or some moving, same as this one. Or some form same as S. Okay. This is three type of chang. Yeah. Give it to me. One type is a red color, one type is a green color, another type is a black color.
Bote means bosh. Yeah. No. The flowers bush. And jiqe, I don't know.
Maybe have a meaning, but
I wanted to check it on Google, but couldn't.
Yep.
Okay, so.
Also, what you may also, especially when you want to design the area up or down and calligraphy inscription, when there is a long, narrow space that you have to design, this is one of the very common techniques, which is called chain, or zanjire we call it, which are two lines of sinusoidal lines going through each other. First, try to use your hands and draw this movement on your papers. And then you can design it with these changs, the claws. Repeat.
Just you must to repeat, for example, these pieces. Okay, this is, I repeat here. For example, okay, and again, again, again. Just repeat the pieces.
Which makes this. Oh, you know how to
Yeah.
make this.
Each one is one spiral, a piece of spiral. Okay. We don't have any more time. We want to design this.
این
type
کتاب
of
هم میتونن استفاده.
I think you can follow in book the page
بیا پیداش کنم.
59, I think. I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
70. 70. Page 70. So this is the last slide. Just I want to design this one for the tile. Okay, for the make the tile. Yeah.
At the final part of this session, we are going to make this. I mean, you're going to draw it yourself. And next session, after break, you will transfer your own designs to the tile. So everybody should make some. If you don't feel like doing it, you can copy it because the papers are transparent from the book. But we will teach you how to make this form of design. Because there is symmetry,
Yeah.
you can draw only half of it and then copy it to the other side. Because the papers we gave you are transparent. They are şeffaf. You can't be şeffaf.